Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Sir Cypher here. Let's play Company Heroes multiplayer. And finally somebody was nice enough to actually post a game in their game in the thread so I can stop embarrassing myself and showing mine. It was Lord-Leckie, and I think this is a 2v2 random. Company of Heroes, you can do 1v1 random, you can do 1v1 and 2v2 arranged team, well 2v2 and 3v3 arranged teams. I guess there is no 1v1 arranged teams. Because you're not on a team, and you can do 2v2 random where, you know, nobody knows each other. And that's actually what most of the 2v2 ladder games are, because few enough people play on Company of Heroes that there just aren't that many arranged teams. You know, at least when I was playing, it was really hard to find people to play. So I think that's what this is. Lord-Leckie is Panzer Elite. His ally, EMD Club, is also Panzer Elite. And for the Allied side, we have Gerald Daly, who's Americans, and we have a British player over here as China region. Lord-Leckie saying hi. We haven't actually seen very many Panzer Elite games. And I want to see what's going to happen, because Panzer Elite, I don't know if it's going to happen, but Panzer Elite have a pretty specific advantage over the British most of the time because of the way Panzerschrecks work. If you're a really good Panzer Elite player, if the British player moves their base forward like at all, it's really easy to kill it. There's not much the British player can do to stop you because of half tracks and stuff. But anyway, we had a Bren carrier as the first unit from the British, which is very interesting. And I guess that's going to be used to harass. But it needs to be careful because, as you can see, these rifles actually do a fair amount of damage to it. And it doesn't have the Vickers gun yet, so it's not going to be able to do too much. The command truck is, I would think it was going to go here, but I guess it's going to go here. Just as far as units go, Panzer Elite, we have a Kampfgruppe company from EMD Club. So that's going to allow him to get possibly an infantry half-track or upgrade to Panzerschrecks. The other option, of course, is the logistics company, which has all of your sort of grenadier squad upgrades. We have a little bit of engagement going on here, sniping these engineers trying to capture the point. They're going to have to give it up. There is a mortar emplacement coming. And I guess they're trying to stop it, but I think it's going to finish building. So over here he said he's building an infantry half-track, so that's what's coming out of there. British player being pretty aggressive with the emplacements. Normally a mortar emplacement is one of the first emplacements you build because it basically gives you control over your whole area. And now that's finished. The American player, still a lot of engineers. Weapon support center first. I'm not sure what units he has. I see a mortar there. What would that be? No, not China man. So we really have two mortars in the center. We have the American mortar and the British mortar team. So there's a lot of suppression going on. These Panzer Grenadiers can't really get too close because they're going to get pounded by mortars.
Munitions point is ours.
But the half-tracks on the field now, and half-tracks are super powerful with the Panzer Elite. I don't know if we're going to see it with Panzerschreck guys against British emplacements, because they can just drive through all the British infantry and drop the guys off, and they can kill emplacements ridiculously fast. And another advantage that the Panzer Elite half-track has, I don't think it's quite as tough as the other normal half-tracks, like the American half-track or the normal Wehrmacht half-track, but you don't have to put guys inside to shoot the machine gun. It just shoots regardless. But you see it's pretty vulnerable, especially from the rear. But obviously the advantage is that the Panzer Elite can build something right off the bat almost that allows them to reinforce on the move, while the Americans have to wait for the motor pool and the Wehrmacht have to wait for the Sturm Armory. Well, not the Sturm Armory, the Kriegbergs. So it looks like this map is pretty much well divided down the center. The American player still staying with weapon support. Somebody's lagging a little bit.
Drink it up, lads. This is what we came for.
And the Panzer Elite, you know, we have a half-track. We have an infantry half-track up there. We have another infantry half-track. And now we have a mortar half-track. So, it's interesting how this is going to go, because even with the mortar half-track, I don't know if they can deal with all these emplacements. And you see, over here we had the machine gun snuck into this house, and the flamethrower engineers are able to push it away. The Allies coming to help, but I think he's going to have to get out of there, because he's not going to take out those guys in that house. And he really needs to watch out, because if this American player puts on some armor-piercing bullets, he's toast. But we do look like we have a little bit of a covert assault going on. Over here we have the half-tracks going behind enemy lines. Maybe they're going to try and snipe a mortar.
We have eliminated
it would be ideal if they had Panzer Shreks right now, but I don't think they have that upgraded yet. And hopefully this one gets away. We do have the mortar half-track, although pounding on this house. I think they caused the either killed the machine gun team or caused the retreat, and it's going to cause these flamethrower engineers to retreat as well. But then we have an assault going up here on the north, chasing this fleeing half-track. This half-track's kind of nipping at their heels, but it needs to watch out, because it's going to have to go through this gap, and it might get blocked, but yeah, the Bren carrier, he purposely blocks it, so the half-track can't get out, and that's going to get blown up. And so that's kind of a problem. So Lord-Leckie's going Tank Hunter, probably so he can get double Panzer Shreks. That's, well, either there's two sides of the Tank Hunter tree. Again, sometimes I explain things because I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt. A lot of people probably never play Company of Heroes. The left side of the Tank Hunter tree is mostly upgrades for your infantry. Actually, no, the left side of the Tank Hunter tree, yeah, is mostly upgrades for your infantry. The right side is, well, Panzer. I guess it's half and half. The Hetzer's on the left side, the Jag Panther is on the right side. But normally players go down the left side so they can get the Hetzer, and then also make it so their anti-tank squads can carry 2 Panzer Shreks, which is pretty brutal. But all Panzer Elite Infantry can repair, so we're repairing the half-track here. The British, I don't know why they're not taking this point. Lord-Leckie goes, whoops. Maybe he mortared his own guys or something. But the this is kind of a dangerous position for the Axis players, because the longer you leave a British player to sort of chill out, the more they can fortify. But now we do actually have Panzer Shreks. Then more Hardtech needs to get the hell out of there, because these guys have Vickers guns now. You can see the big Vickers guns poking out. But probably, most likely, both of those are going to die, because we do have Panzer Shreks. And one advantage of the one advantage of the Panzer Elite half-track is that units can shoot heavy weapons out of the top, and no other half-tracks can do that. So the American player has a supply yard, so it's kind of dangerous, and we have the field support truck. Over here we have the Panzerjäger Command, so I'm not sure what he's going to build out of that. Maybe he's going to try and get like a fast...
Enemy unit eradicated.
Okay, so he's getting armored cars. And over here we have Panzer Support Command. I'm not sure what he's going to be building out of that. Maybe a Panzer IV. Maybe Hotchkisses. But this armored car, I don't think the enemy actually has any AT yet. And now we do have the half-track with the Panzerfaust. Chases down the Bren carrier, kills it for revenge. And this LT is probably going to die as well. And you can see how the half-tracks, obviously these things like these Vickers guns are really good, but Half-tracks are so mobile that you can just drive around their defenses.
Standing by to assist. Completed the repair, sir. Is ready for order.
So it looks like they're going to have to back off a little bit. This
Defensive
armored car's going to have to back
operation
off
has
too.
been
The American player, it looks like they're not building a barracks, but they're getting airborne instead. And the British player, do they have anything from their support truck yet? They got the captain, so we're probably going to see a Stewart very soon. It might already be building.
Chaps are ready when you are.
I normally like to build a squad of sappers first before I get the captain, unless it's like I need a tank right away. Because sappers are pretty useful, especially with Piats. So these guys basically got driven back from this barrage of mortars, and if the American player gets AT guns on these recoilless rifles, it could be really bad for the Panzer Elites faction because of all of these fragile half-tracks. But we will see what happens. LordLeckie and EMD Club are building up quite a variety of half-tracks here. We have plenty of... it looks like actually he just popped. He just got the increased squad sizes. So it shows them all as wounded because they actually can have... They can technically get another unit. So that was very interesting. The sniper was running away. And what do you call it? The guys with the Gewehr 43 rifles, they popped their special ability, which slows enemies. So the sniper couldn't get away in time. So these airborne might be in a bit of trouble, but I think they're going to make it out of there. You see these medics running around from this casualty clearing station up here. Oh, we just got taken out by LordLeckie's armored car.
We're ready for orders.
Now he's building another armored car. I guess he doesn't have increased squad sizes. I guess all those guys are just hurt. He needs to he needs to build a what do you call it? He needs to get the defensive operations. Now you notice there that this Stewart tank just wasted 75 munitions. It fired a cluster or a canister shot up there while the guys were retreating, and I think killed one guy. But now we have recoilless rifles on the airborne. We have Piat troopers. At the same time, though, we have a little covert assault here with the half-track, which is probably going to cruise over here and blow that up. And the enemy is assaulting over here. Uh-oh, that could be bad. LordLeckie saw it, but this guy didn't, so both those guys might die. Because that was a satchel charge, not a grenade. So the Stewart's coming over here to fight this off. And I think, yeah, there's going to have to be a mass retreat because there was plenty of AT, there just wasn't enough anti-infantry. LordLeckie's also laid some teller mines. I don't know if this actually finished building. And we do also have an AT half-track, which should be enough actually to push off this Stewart light tank. If it was pointing in the right direction. Combined with the, there we go. So he used a special ability. Well, he might have used a special ability. No, he didn't, because it's still mobile. But light AT half-tracks, they basically, they have an increased chance when they hit units to to damage a track or an engine, and they have a special ability that basically always makes you damage a track or an engine. And I think that is what he used. So he disabled the track on the Stewart, and then he took out the he took it out. But we have an AT gun now for the Americans. I'm sort of interested why I always see American players, they never seem to tech. Like the guy has 268 fuel. I mean, obviously, you know, Shermans aren't the best thing, but Shermans just murder for the most part anti-tank infantry because they outrange them, and their main cannon has like a ridiculous amount of splash, and it's like almost homing. But, you know, whatever. But yeah, these light vehicles need to watch out because we have cordless rifles all over the place. We have a Bofors gun going up here. We have, and we also have a 17 pounder. So I'm thinking that if the Panzer Elite want to win this, they're gonna have to focus more on infantry because see a stealth Kettenkrad cruising away here. So it looks like he is oh, it's Panzer IV.
Panzer, the indomitable.
It looks like he is Luftwaffe then. If he's calling in if he has a you know, that guy's airborne. We know LordLeckie is tank destroyers. Get a Hetzer now. Yeah, he's Luftwaffe because he's got a stealth Kettenkrad. And I don't actually know. I guess the British player hasn't actually chosen anything yet. So it's a little bit harder for me to keep track of everything with a 4-player game, especially how spread out Company of Heroes is. A game like StarCraft, I mean, there's little raids and stuff, but it's mostly like people are in armies. They have, you know, one massive troops engages another massive troops. In Company of Heroes, it's a lot more diffuse normally.
Auto repairs are finished.
Now, a side effect, which I hadn't thought about till now, is now that that mortar pit's gone, the new mortar half-track that he built has no competition, essentially, in destroying these emplacements. And once this is gone, well, he's building, I guess he's building another Vickers gun. And a 25 pounder. I think this 25 pounder, this Bofors gun was really designed to stop half-track raids, like we were saying earlier. Because if the British player can get half-tracks full of Panzerschreck guys into the British player's base early on, it's almost game over. These paratroopers are just getting murdered there. And surprisingly, they didn't get any recoilless rifle shots to hit these armored cars. I saw a couple of them shot. Up. Does he notice the sniper? Yep, he notices. So we have another slightly aborted attack here on the north. So it looks like the position for the oh, where is this 25 pounder firing at? So he's bad with snipers. It looks like while this British position is pretty secure. So where is that going to? Oh shit. So blasting those guys. The Allied players still pretty firmly hold this point. But now this Vickers gun's gone.
Lost a unit.
Holy shit. You see the Bofors gun. There was a... I don't see, well, you can see their rifles. A assault grenadier squad tried to take this point. I don't actually know if LordLeckie knew that this Bofors gun was here, and it killed the squad in like 2 seconds, because this thing is on the road.
We are losing ground. We are at 300 points.
So yeah, this right here is a tough nut to crack, especially with the 17 pounder, these 2 Vickers guns, this Bofors gun. But I think what they're going to try to attempt is flank. We do have a tank depot now, finally. And there's an M10. I don't know why he built that. I think he should have just built a Sherman.
Our fearless troops have yet again destroyed the enemy's armor.
Tank busters at the ready!
Heads at the ready.
I'm not really, honestly, for the most part, that big of a fan of M10s as most people seem to be. I just feel that they're just too fragile to be used most of the time, like how they're supposed to be used. Like, I like tank destroyers, like Martyr 3s are amazing. So many incendiary grenades. They just threw like 17 incendiary grenades into that. But the thing is, though, is that these guys are gonna, their suppression is gonna be gone pretty soon, and then they're gonna do whatever they want. But they're gonna have to get out of here because they're about to die. I wonder what that. Oh, okay. So I guess the British player is commandos. 'Cause that was a decoy artillery barrage. Yep. It's commandos. I just feel like the M10 is too fragile to be really used how you're supposed to kind of use it. I just think that Shermans are generally better, and that the AT guns are better to use for like the more serious anti-tank.
Replacement here. Tank upgrade complete. Go ahead, sir.
So, good use of the Greer 43s. Slowed those guys. This Panzer IV has the slats on it, so basically you can... Uh-oh, there goes the AT half-track. But it is pretty well defended against these paratroopers. And remember, paratroopers are some of the most expensive infantry in the game to reinforce. Them and Rangers, they both cost 45. So, you generally want to be pretty careful how you use them, or they can bleed you dry of manpower.
Now has access to flak 88 artillery pieces.
So this mortar got cut out of position. Just got murdered. Unfortunately, since he only has 4 guys in his squad, he can't steal it, or the squad will disappear because the mortar takes 3 guys. I wonder if he has AT grenades. Here we have the giant Lord-Leckie blob over here. I don't think he knows about this, so he's probably going to be really sad as soon as that starts opening up on him. He might actually still be able to take this stuff out because he has so many Panzerschrecks.
Enemy unit eradicated.
So the AT gun's gone, but we'll see if that opens up any more possibilities. You see though that the enemy's not really... Oh, here we have a Crocodile Sherman. Is an interesting choice. I think he should have just built a normal Sherman. Because the problem with Crocodile Shermans is you can't really kite infantry with them because the flamethrower doesn't shoot very far. So the Panzerschreck infantry can actually kite the Crocodile Sherman. So... but you see that the enemy's getting stuff destroyed, and they're not necessarily rebuilding everything. Like, there used to be a machine gun here. Now there's not. They did put 3 mines there, but, it looks like the enemies are being flanked, so... After killing that crocodile, these guys were able to sneak in here. And, they, because they're tank hunters, you see also they're throwing AT grenades.
Even now.
They have two Panzerfaust each, or Panzerschrecks each, which basically makes them useless against infantry, but against tanks. You see, they can basically kite the Sherman. But anyway, these Hetzers... What happened to the other Hetzer? Did it get destroyed? I thought I saw 2 Hetzers. Oh, there's the other Hetzer. Almost got killed.
Superiority once again.
The Hetzers almost killed his Bofors gun. And these guys are going to get out of there. But not before they kill... I think they killed that Sherman Crocodile as well. Yeah, they killed both of them. We had another assault up here, but again, I think that he needs to figure out some way of breaking this other than a mob of infantry. Actually, it would be interesting if he built like an 88 somewhere over here. Or actually down here. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Shooting an 88 into the middle like this. I guess there's a 25-pounder here, which would make it difficult. So the Panzer IV tried to get in there, but the enemy has so much AT. But we do have 2 mortar half-tracks, which... Oh, shit. What was that? Was that an AT? Yeah, it was an AT half-track. So, just mass murder of infantry. The Burger Tiger needs to get out of there. I think that was decoy smoke. Oh no, that was real smoke and the 25 pound. No, just the smoke.
25-pounder ready.
The decoy smoke's really annoying because I mean it's fun if you have decoy smoke, but you know it doesn't always
We are down to 200 points.
it isn't always fun having smoke dropped on your guys like every 20 seconds.
AA gun ready.
So things are looking a little sketchy for the Axis. That's probably fake smoke, which I think he realizes because the real smoke.
An enemy unit has fallen to our might.
So that was a little too obvious.
Go ahead, sir.
But the artillery looks like it's about to start opening up on these guys. But the victory point's getting captured. And the thing is here, there's like no anti-infantry here. This is all Piet guys. So, okay, here we have some airborne. But look, I think it's just because the airborne cost so much to expand. And look at this. He didn't build a triage center, which is like such a mistake with how much airborne cost. If you're gonna go airborne, you have to get a triage center. It's like not even optional because they cost so much money that you just can't afford to just be like, oh, let them die. You have to suck all the money you can out of them. So yeah, just a giant wave of Panzerschrecks. Strange thing though is that the this guy has plenty of money, but it looks like that was a pretty brutal artillery strike. This guy keeps building Sherman crocodiles for some reason, which I don't know what happened to the last one. I saw it trundle across the map, but it probably got taken out by the Hudson. Nope, it's attacking this guy's base for some reason, but he has defensive operations, so it's kind of funny. The crew members are getting healed, and this Sherman's gonna die. So I think actually one of the biggest casualty generators are these mortars. These mortars killed 18 guys, and it's just tearing into these people. You can just see how brutal. A mortar right here would just be glorious. The 25-pounder's opening up again.
An enemy unit has fallen to
But really, I think the biggest thing is that, for the most part, oh, that was such a good mortar. So it went up. The kill streak. I think the problem is that they really didn't lose that much over there. Oh, now we got the Panther calling, which is actually not okay. The British got dropped. They didn't lose that much over there, the Axis side, and the Allied side lost like so much stuff. Partially because they have a bunch of stuff that costs too much to reinforce. The American player, I mean, you can't run your whole strategy off airborne because they just cost too much. They're good, but they don't seem like they cost too much because they're like, oh, you know, I think they cost 370 to call in. Yeah, 375. And you're like, yeah, that's just a bit more than infantry, and they're better than infantry. They're a bit more than rifles, but they're better than rifles. But they cost twice as much to reinforce as rifles, which is the problem. I'm not actually sure if there was any advantage to calling in these Panthers. The enemy doesn't really have anything that Panthers are good against. A pair of Panzer IVs would probably be better. You can see this Panzer IV has 17 kills. This mortar has 26 kills now. So it looks like, for the most part, they're just the Axis players are just pitting the enemy place and killing them with mortars, which is a pretty good strategy. And as you can see, tank hunter squads are super amazing against British people who want to play SimCity, because they just do so much damage so fast to emplacements. Why did this Pete's trying to get into this house? They do so much. Now like 30 minutes of the game, we finally have the armored command truck coming, but it's a little too late. We did have a strafing run there, but it's not really going to do that much.
We have destroyed an enemy unit.
Yep, this is basically it for the Allies.
The Panther tank destroyers can now be placed in the field.
Yeah, it was going a little rough there at the beginning,
Advances.
but it seemed like the American and the British player, well, the British player was really doing most of the work. It seemed like the American player, his whole strategy was just build airborne, or just stall until you can get airborne, and it's not, it's just, they just cost too much. And the British player, he didn't really seem to have a plan for after he took the middle of the map. I guess he just planned to hold it, but you generally want to stay on the offensive, because if you sink all of your money into emplacements and stuff, you never want to let the enemy sort of have room to breathe, and that's basically what they did. And the Panzerschreck infantry snuck in there and just blew everything up. So here's the Jag Panther. She's gonna blow the crap out of this headquarters command truck. The annoying thing about British players, once you've blown up all their stuff, is that, I don't know if you see, you can call in a new command truck basically immediately. There's like no, the cooldown is so ridiculously short. So, commenting your teammate, always good.
Our allies
Too many people are mean in multiplayer games. I never yell at my teammate. I played a 2v2 random the other day where the my opponent, well not my ally just he built a bunker over the place where our units come in when you call in reinforcements from off map. So this guy's like trying to like kill this guy's base, I guess. He built a bunker. You know, I don't know where the guy's coming off map on this map. I think it's right here. Anyway, he built a bunker, so I couldn't call in off-map units there. And he just wrote "fuck you" in his base with sandbags. Yeah, it's just like it's just a video game. But no, this guy's partner was good. He knew how to use half tracks.
Ready to move.
And Panzerschreck guys. He's got the Burger Tiger out there helping out. And probably the MVP. I'd say the MVP, the siege breaker for Lord-Leckie was these mortar half tracks, because they killed a shitload of dudes.
The friendly base is under attack.
It's funny, this guy like trying to like backdoor him.
Kampfgruppe Leer is now able to enjoy the benefits of our Jaeger command upgrade.
Troops ready for battle. Munitions secured. Still in contact.
Making ready for action.
Surprised I haven't killed this guy's base yet. I'm not sure what's holding them back.
We have destroyed the enemy is attacking the base of our Kameraden.
Objective captured.
But yeah, a pretty good game. I always find it interesting. Everybody seems to sort of have their own strategy, but when you're playing somebody who's British, or actually if they're playing Wehrmacht and your allies, American, when they do the whole fortify the thing, or if they make a big giant fortified strong point across the map, it's sort of like a puzzle you have to crack, you know, because you know it's there, you see it, you're like, well, I need to get here, I need to get to the middle of the map and take this point, but there's all these defenses, all these guys, And it's like almost like a safe you have to crack, or a puzzle you have to solve. Like, piece by piece, you have to kind of deconstruct the defenses. And then normally there's a point where suddenly you're through, and then you can just kind of do whatever you want.
We have eliminated the enemy once more.
And that's what happened here. Started off with killing this mortar team in the machine gun nest and the 17-pounder.
Ready for order.
And then a shitload of Panzer Grenadiers bumped across the road and blew up almost everything. Still don't get why this guy built everything but a Sherman. I mean, Shermans aren't the best tanks. Shermans are pretty shitty against other tanks. But I think really as a multi-purpose tank, they're actually probably one of the best tanks. And in fact, they can fulfill multiple roles pretty well, and they're not really weak against anything besides, like, obviously, like Panthers and Tigers and stuff. It's sort of the same thing with the Wehrmacht. The Panzer IV is a really underrated tank for them. Even though people always tend to go for Panthers, even though a Panzer IV is more useful about like 90% of the time. So you see though again though, they can call him this headquarters command truck like every 30 seconds. And the super annoying thing is, for American player, or for any other faction, once you destroy their headquarters, if you want to stop them from getting back into the game, they can call in reinforcements off the map. But if you want to stop them from getting in the game, you can just watch their headquarters. And once you've blown up everybody's headquarters, it's over, right? But the British, as soon as they call their truck in, they're back in the game. So, you know, you have to like camp the little truck call on location. It's just annoying. Mostly just happens with computer players, because human players normally just give up. It's funny, this guy actually blew up blew up his headquarters, but it doesn't really matter at this point. It's funny, the mortar half-track is dueling him.
Secured. No contact. Build complete. Squad standing ready. We are taking fire.
Alright, so that was it. So thank you for the replay. That was pretty interesting. I always like, even though I like British, I like seeing people crack through their defenses, because I hate it when a sort of people turtle, even though I do it a lot. I hate it playing against it, which is kind of hypocritical. And I'm always like, damn, how am I gonna figure this out? How am I gonna get through there? But saw it happen. So thanks, Lord Leckie, and thank you for watching, and see you guys later.